In my last video, we took a look at my rifle, ammunition, and optics setup for a buffalo and plains game hunt in Uganda. Well, the hunt has been concluded, and now it is time to review how things went, how the rifle, ammunition, and equipment performed. The hunt was outfitted by Ernest Dyson from Spear Safaris, and wow, what a hunt it was. We were successful in hunting 4 animals. We managed to harvest Jackson's hartebeest, a very nice old buffalo bull, then changed hunting area and hunted a Uganda cob, changed hunting area yet again, and hunted an East African impala. A couple of comments on the actual rifle, the 416 Rigby Big Game series. Well, as expected, with a genuine Mauser action, that rifle performed flawlessly. No mechanical issues whatsoever. Just a couple of comments on the scope setup. As I said previously, I was using the Schmidt Bender 1 to 8 by 24 with Illuminated reticle. I only used the Illuminated reticle on the buffalo, and we'll talk about that when I show you the pictures of the buffalo. But the scope never moved point of impact, and I actually did remove it from the rifle every time we traveled from one camp to the next, as I don't like the scope on the rifle taking a beating on the back of those roads in Uganda. So the rectangle mounts, easy to use, and as I said, they never moved point of impact. Did very well. Now, a couple of comments just on the ammunition that I used. As I said in the previous video, I was using the Federal Premium loaded with the bonded bear claw ammunition. So this is the one that was used on the first part of the hunt, and I used it on 2 animals. So this specific ammunition was used first on a Jackson's hartebeest, and then secondly on a buffalo bull. And this is the bullet recovered from the hartebeest bull. When I show you the picture, this bullet actually, I shot that hartebeest bull frontal shot. It went through the neck vertebra, through the chest cavity, and was recovered on the left side of the animal, just behind the last rib, just underneath the skin. You can see it mushroomed perfectly. Being a bonded bullet, the lead adheres to the copper, and you know, very nice expansion and very nice impact and effect. Now, unfortunately, on the buffalo, I didn't recover the bullet. They actually do the caping and the slaughter of the buffalo in the field, and the bullet was lost because I didn't pay attention. But you'll see when we do the video on the actual buffalo hunt, again, perfect performance. That buffalo was shot just behind the shoulder, and that first bullet with this specific configuration killed that animal. I followed up with 2 shots with this Woodley Hydro on the buffalo when it was down. As expected, both of these hydros went full penetration, so it shot in on the one side of the buffalo, out on the other side. Phenomenal penetration on these, so performed exactly as expected. The one thing that I think warrants a little bit of discussion is using a big caliber like this on thin-skinned animals. So we hunted a cob and an impala with the 416 as well, because that was my aim, was to take just one rifle on this hunt. And I used the nozzler partitions on that, and as expected, you know, the partition, the front part is not bonded, so they did mushroom well, even on those thin-skinned animals, and even though we didn't hit bone. So on those animals, you'll see that we, you know, the cob, I shot it right on the shoulder, maybe a little high, but again, complete full-length penetration in one side, out the other side. The same on the impala. I shot it just behind the elbow. They created pretty substantial wound channels, and you could see when I show you the pictures, you'll see that they expanded very well and left a nice exit wound with good blood trail. So I can't really fault the nozzler partition for that. One shot kills, did very well. enabled us to find these animals even in thick grass because of the blood trails, so it was easy to follow the blood trails. So with regards to the ammunition, the rifle, the scope setup, everything, I absolutely have no complaints. Everything went really, really well. And let's take a look at the animals. Now, the first animal taken on this hunt was the Jackson's hartebeest. The shooting distance was exactly 98 yards. The hartebeest was facing me directly, so the decision was made to try and wait for it to turn and have a side-on shot, but it never turned, and we could see it was starting to get a little jumpy. So I made the decision to take the shot, and with its head held up high, looking at us, that you'll see I circled the shots here. The entrance wound was about halfway up the neck, and it broke the neck cleanly, went into the chest cavity, traversed the chest cavity, and came out and was found underneath the skin on the left side of that animal, in that, I'm going to say, the circle on the far back. But a single shot kill, animal went down like it was poleaxed, and that was the end of that hunt. Next up was the buffalo bull, and that buffalo was shot at 63 yards, and it was walking towards me and was starting to turn. It was quartering slightly towards me when the first shot was given. And if you look at the images, the first shot is the one circled on the right-hand side of the horn. You'll see on the left side there's two circles. So the one on the right side of the horn is actually just behind the point of the shoulder. And that's where the first shot with that Federal Premium bonded bear claw went in. And it really killed the buffalo. It ran only, I would say maybe 30, 40 yards. It buckled, went down, got up, turned to the right, ran maybe another 15 yards, went down next to a tree, and we could hear it give the death bellow there. We walked up to the buffalo, and I just have a simple philosophy. I like to make sure that they're dead. So I put another two shots in. Those are the ones behind the horn that you can see there. Those were the two Woodley Hydro bullets, and they, as I said, they gave full penetration, just blew straight through that buffalo. But again, very good performance of the rifle, very good performance of the ammunition, and I used the Illuminated reticle because the sun was actually from behind that buffalo, so it was really dark when you're looking at it. And using that Illuminated reticle, the little orange dot on that, it could help you to really place that thing exactly where you want it to, just behind the point of the shoulder there. But again, pretty successful outcome right there. Now, one thing I did do was every time we traveled and I removed the scope, on reattaching the scope, I used some ammunition just to make sure it was dead on before we started the hunt. Next up was the Uganda cob, which it was taken at 100 yards. And it was the first animal taken with the nozzler partition ammunition. And the area in which we hunted this cob, the grass was immensely tall. It was green, lush vegetation, thick bush. And, that first shot, the animal was quartering very, very slightly. It was shot maybe a little bit high. The bullet went diagonally through the animal and exited just behind the opposite shoulder. And, I want to show you on the entrance side, you can see the hole is caliber size. On the opposite side, you can see it's at least maybe 3 times that diameter. There's actually a piece of lung protruding from that wound channel there. And if that animal did not bleed as profusely as it did through those two wounds, we might have lost it, because it actually, it didn't run very far. It ran between 85, 95 yards. But because of the thickness of the bush, if we didn't have an adequate blood trail to follow, it might have had a completely different outcome in just recovering the animal. But having a really good blood trail, it was very, very easy to eventually find that animal. The final animal to be taken on this hunt was an East African impala, and wow, what a lovely specimen it was. This animal was taken a little further. It was taken at 110 yards, and it was a completely broadside shot. The animal was taken with the nozzler partition ammunition as well. It was shot just behind the elbow. And again, you can see the entrance wound, caliber size, exit wound significantly bigger. But again, I want to draw your attention to the amount of blood that animal, passed through that exit wound. And again, this animal, it ran maybe 60 yards, just keeled over and died. And I had a couple of guys make comment when I said I was going to take the 416 Rigby as a single caliber to go do buffalo and plains game, saying, "Well, it's a lot of overkill." I think two comments I'd like to make is number one, I don't think all four animals succumbed to single shots, even though I put in some backup shots on that buffalo. They weren't really 100% needed. So I think, to get the animal down, get it down quickly and efficiently, leave adequate blood trail to follow it if something, if you need to go recover it and find it. I think the 416 did all of that for me. And with the ammunition choice I had, it worked out, perfectly well on this hunt. So I don't think it's really overkill or anything like that. Just a couple of final remarks on this hunt. I used Trader Keith Sling on my 416 Rigby, and I bought the broadest one that they have, the widest sling width, and that sling really performed very well. I hear a lot of guys that say you shouldn't use a sling when you do dangerous game hunting. Uh, we did a lot of walking in tall grass and stuff, and I really appreciated the sling. I think it was well worth it. It kept we're not stalking or anything. It kept the muzzle up in the air, and safety is a primary concern which we should all have. So I enjoyed that sling. I think just taking time to get very comfortable with a rifle and choice of ammunition before you go is paramount. And then go out there and enjoy the hunt, and hopefully everything comes together. Thank you very much.